The date is August 25th, 2022. Breaking news from Las Vegas, Nevada. Members of the recently relocated Raiders have been caught engaging in what kept the NFL from the Sin City for so very long. Gambling. All levels of the front office, from ownership to lower-level decision-makers, were caught betting on multiple events throughout the 2021 NFL season, including the firing of John Gruden, the playoff appearances, and much more. The profits were astronomical. Upon hearing the news, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell ordered for the immediate sale of the team. Furthermore, the Raiders will be disbanded in favor of a new expansion franchise. Though this is terrible news for Raiders fans, the punishment seems fitting as Falcons receiver Calvin Ridley received a year suspension for much less egregious conspiratorial betting. Commissioner Goodell brought several suitable relocation locations to the remaining 31 team owners, and the location of the new franchise was decided: San Antonio, Texas. Now, who would step up to the plate to own the brand new franchise? The answer: Peyton Manning. The Hall of Fame legendary quarterback of the Colts and Broncos will be looking to bring yet another profitable football team to Texas. When it came to branding, Manning favored the orange, once worn in college at his alma mater, Tennessee. After several options were brought to the fans, the name Express was the winning pick. Honestly, I think the fans would do much better, but gotta find some way to justify Madden's poop options. The last time the NFL had an expansion, it was in 2002 with the Houston Texans. They had an expansion draft to help fill out their roster. This will not happen this time around. With the start of the NFL season right around the corner and training camps wrapping up, Commissioner Goodell opted instead for the team formerly known as the Las Vegas Raiders to forfeit the 2022 schedule, giving each team a win and bye each time they played the Raiders, which every AFC team was very happy about. Instead, former Raiders would be auctioned off to the other NFL teams for draft picks until the San Antonio Express had 2 picks in rounds 1 through 3 of the 2023 NFL Draft and 3 picks per round for rounds 4 through 7. In addition, they would get 2 picks in every round of the 2024 NFL Draft. No veterans would be awarded to the team, but rather a treasure trove of draft picks in the 2 years of franchise history. With that part figured out, the head coach position needed to be filled, and unsurprisingly, Eli Manning will step into the role, younger brother of owner Peyton and a Super Bowl winning quarterback himself. As he filled out his staff, all that was left for the 2022 season was to scout and prepare for the momentous 2023 NFL Draft ahead, which brings us to our current day. And welcome back to the channel for our brand new series, our Expansion Express series, and here we are at the end of the 2022 season. Now you might say, no, I just watched week 2. No, the season is over. The Chiefs win, as you see there, the Super Bowl over the Bucs, getting their revenge. As we get this series started, hope you like the introduction. We are going through the staff tree. Why am I blowing through the staff tree? We have just barely started the franchise. This franchise, I didn't mention it in the introduction little spiel because I didn't know how to make it into a storyline because it's just a challenge that we're doing. This is going to be a draft-only franchise. Or shall I say rookie-only, because we will be signing undrafted free agents. But we're not boosting the XP sliders or anything to make this easier. This is going to be a very difficult franchise. This will be one that I'm hopping on the sticks as well to kind of differentiate it from that Bears franchise. We will be playing the games, and so I wanted to create a challenge. If I'm just going to be playing, I'd rather it be very difficult. And so that's what we'll be doing here in terms of that. Now, let's get into the draft, as I kind of hinted at the end of the last video. This is going to be the biggest part of the franchise, as I'm trying to start with quarterbacks here, but I am on the private workouts. And apparently I can't look at a player when I'm choosing their Bryant workouts. That's a huge oversight. So I guess before we preview the class, you know nothing about anybody here. I'll just figure out who I want to send to the private workouts. I liked both of those middle linebackers, and I want to get to know a little bit more about both of them. I don't know if that's who I'll pick, but as I'm kind of thinking through this, I just want to talk about the class in general a little bit. I really, really like this class. I don't think there's anybody that's a bona fide generational prospect like we saw in the first draft of our Bears franchise, with Deacon Burgess, where you just knew no matter what he was going to be 80 plus overall X Factor. You could just see it. There are a lot of guys that I like in this class, though. I think all throughout the round of this draft, I like a few different guys at the top. I like a lot of guys in the mid rounds. Then I like a hefty bit of day 3 guys as well, as I finally find Michael Franklin here. I don't know if I would have been able to pick them from the middle linebackers tab. I just know in Madden 22 it was broken, and I don't want to risk it. We can't make any mistakes in this draft. But here, let's actually preview the draft like I was talking about. We'll go by position. I have spent a ton of time in this class because basically the start of an entire franchise is being started here. Those top 5 guys, they're not actually on my board. I just want to put them on my board so Madden might mock them to me so I can see where the guys I actually want to go. Devin Hamilton, however, doesn't have the deep accuracy as you saw, but elite throw power and great speed. B medium accuracy. That short could be anywhere from B to D. We don't really know what it is. B throw on the run. For a day 3 guy, I think that's an awesome deal. Walt McDonald, good throw power, not a mover at all, but A throw on the run and A throw under pressure, B deep accuracy. If we, for some reason, miss out on Devin Hamilton, I don't think we will, but he'll be a guy we're going to look at. Josh Vassar here is the top running back. He's got some speed to him. He's got some carrying as well. The only thing is he doesn't look like he's got anything in the way of making people miss, but he won't fumble and he's got some speed. So that's something to look at. Greg Overstreet, not quite the same athlete, but A, ball carrier vision, B, break tackle, and some potential there in the trucking. Bo Cotton is kind of like that first guy, just somebody that you can get later in the fact that he's fast, but in terms of making people miss, he's nothing really special if we are being honest with ourselves. Donovan Holmes is more of a receiving back with some decent speed, so he will be definitely on the list of guys that we'll be heavily looking out for. Fullback, there's only one guy. He's got a run block. That's all you really need to know. Deontay McMillan is the top receiver. He's fairly big and he's got some good speed to him. He's got a spec catch and catch in traffic. Only see catching D short and deep route, but a better medium route runner. Steven Drew is somebody that there are a lot of iterations of this in the class. Elite speed, C short route, C to F medium, but B like guys who aren't great route runners except for deep. We're gonna see another one here in Marlon Royal. This time great speed rather than elite, but D short, F medium, A to B deep, B spec catch, B catch in traffic, B catching. Matt Orr, you see that A deep route running, you guessed it, another one of the same great speed. A deep route, but D short, C to F medium. I'm gonna guess that's not C. Eddie Hazelton is maybe my favorite here. He's got that elite speed. He's available later than Steven Drew. He's got A to C spec catch. That's something that ends up being A. That could be good, but he's another guy that looks like they're all kind of the same deep threat build, and he's the one that's available the latest. I like Darius Slayton. He's got some great speed. He's got that playmaker style. Not a great route runner, but some good speed with some playmaker is intriguing to me. Terrence Collins, 6'5", solid speed only, but elite jumping. And he can run the short routes and he can catch the ball. And so worth at least keeping in mind there in the mid rounds. I think I like a lot of mid-round talent players in this draft, and so I don't know if he'll end up taking a pick, as Isaiah Fitzgerald is just an even later version of that deep threat guy that we've seen so often. And then Delvin Dansby will round things out for the receivers. Lewis Smart is the first guy we're talking about that's on my short list. I guess Devin Hamilton, the quarterback, is also on my short list, but Lewis Smart looks incredible, as we'll get to him here in a minute. Michael Darby we'll get to first, though, just because he is rated higher. Normally, I'd really like the way he looks. other than the fact that he has F injury. Normally that'd be somebody that I would target, but not when you have a guy like Lewis Smart projected to go later than him. He's bigger at 6'5" compared to I think 6'2". Elite speed 4.47 at his pro day. That's got to be at least 87 speed, which I think is the cutoff for elite speed. So at least that we know it. A break tackle. You see, along with just a lot of other A's there. So very interested in him. If we don't get him, there's Jerry McCain who looks good. I mean, this tight end class looks sick. We might even draft 2 and just run a bunch of 12 personnel to start this franchise off. Chris Farr is a guy down the board that, like, if we were to draft a second tight end, it would be him. The very first guy on my shortlist big board is Brian Pearson. I've done a lot of draft classes in Madden over the last couple of years, and he is the prototypical superstar, overall 77 to 79 lineman. Great athlete. Look at all those A's. You don't love to see a D in stamina, but I mean, that build almost always has superstar. So getting a practically guaranteed superstar with your first pick would be massive. As we take a look at Josh Miner there too. Solid pickup option later. Carter Fitzpatrick is a pass protecting guy. Pass protectors usually aren't good athletes, but this guy is pretty good. He does have F run block power though. Like, he's probably a guy that you have to kick out to tackle. Zach Clark looks a little bit more well-balanced. He's not going to be below C in anything other than injury. And injury is obviously not a great thing to be below C on. But Johnny Floyd here's a day 3 guy. Not as good of an athlete, but still definitely above the line. And it's got decent enough looking ratings. Rafael Jaramillo. I mean, for a guy that might be there very late, could be fine. I'm not super excited about him, but he could be fine. Van Treese Sampson. He's got a lot of A's there for a day 3 guy. Definitely someone to keep our eye out for. Yeah, I didn't notice he had that many A's. I mean, not as great of an athlete. F run back finesse is like A's or F's, but he's very high on my list, I would say. Philip Fraser, at least on my day 3 list. F injury, another F power, D lead block. Eli Shea is another lineman that I really, really like. He's 21 years old, really good athlete. Seeing some A's there in power, which means he's going to be scheme fit for us, though I already have the coach tree thing unlocked where scheme fit doesn't really matter as much, so I guess we're fine there. Another guy that you see several A's here in Nick Contreras. Another pass protecting guy. That size would mean he's basically center only. Ryan Havenstein is 23 years old. I don't love that, and normally that's actually in a regular franchise, that's actually do not draft, but in a franchise where you're starting from scratch and you literally have nothing, you can't really cross guys out for age. I'm trying to take the best player as often as I can in this draft. Kyle Dumaine looks really solid here. Not a power guy, of course, but as a finesse guy, has some potential. We don't know impact or lead. It could be anywhere from A to C, but it could be really good. Brent Gilmore, elite strength, F injury though. I would be a little bit more excited about him despite some season Ds, just with that elite strength. But I also feel like fairly confident we're going Pearson in the first round. And so I don't know if I want 2 first-round offensive linemen, as we do have that second pick. Devin Russo is a guy I like, especially as a guy who's going to be available pretty late in the draft. Decent athlete. He's got some things to work with. Obviously, you see that he's got some things he needs to work on as well, as Deshaun Walton also looks really good. A impact, injury, and lead block for him. So I think there's plenty of linemen that we can get in all kind of layers of this draft, all rounds, I guess is what I should say. JoJo Bozeman, Very much so an interior end, but looks to be an immediate impact run stopper. Stopping the run is going to be very hard for this team. So that's even more attractive on a team like this than it would be normally. Normally, guys that project early down run stopper only, at least early in their career, aren't as attractive, but they're definitely more attractive when you literally have no one stopping the run. No right ends on our favorite list. Yeah, there's just not even a ton in the draft in general, I guess. When you look at Evan Conway and Doug Watts here, it looks like they should be on my list. I don't know why they're not. But let's just go to defensive tackle anyway. There's got to be a reason as I looked into one of them there. Jeremiah Gatewood as a round 1 defensive tackle. Looks really good. Nothing in the A's other than like play rec and tackle, but none of his actual moves. We do have an A power move here from Timmy Reed, another guy who's 21 years old as well. Elite speed. I mean, him and Lewis Reed in terms of guys that we've seen in the round 2 to 3 have to be at the top of my wish list. Gilbert Wilkins looks really good as well as a guy you could get around later maybe, in case we miss out on Timmy Reed, or even if we do get Timmy Reed, Benny Knox with the elite strength. His actual skills don't look as great, but a guy that late with elite strength, you have to keep him on your board. Deshaun Rhodes, another guy with elite speed and potentially good finesse moves. I think he might have those good finesse moves. There's one more guy I wanted to look at just because, yeah, he's that nose tackle build. We might add him to the list right now just because that elite strength is going to be like 95 plus strength. It's going to be really, really big. John Carrington here kind of looks like some hybrid kind of player, really elite athlete. His finesse and power aren't that great, but he looks like it's more of a do-it-all between pass coverage and stopping the run. Victor Giles, though, is another, off-ball linebacker, outside linebacker that I really like later. Both man and zone coverage are A to C. So maybe I'd love to see if that man coverage, is up to that A. Elite speed again for Rudy Whitlock, A awareness, A to C man coverage. Only B to D, zone and the B to D man. So not quite as promising in man. Still looks good, obviously. Kenny Pamphile is a day 3 guy. Only great speed at outside linebacker. That doesn't mean nearly as much as great speed at middle linebacker. That could be like 84. We only have 2 middle linebackers. I really like them both, though. Devon Burks here looks to be like a really good player. A awareness, A zone coverage, A to C tackle, A to C injury. Just looks really, really solid. Michael Franklin, elite speed. We did put our focus on these guys, so we'll have to come back and take a look at them. But, B zone coverage, C man, B block shed, B play rec. Looks like a guy that you could get later that might be slightly worse than Devon Burks, but not by much, especially considering you can get him multiple rounds later. D'Angelo Bramble is the only kind of edge rushing kind of outside linebacker that you really like. B power, C finesse, decent athlete, day 3 pick. Just because there's so few that are like him, I feel like there's a very high likelihood he ends up being a member of the San Antonio Express. But we say that he would become an Express, which kind of feels weird to say become an Express. Now, looking at corner here, Jose Short, elite athlete. I know you peeped and saw that Quincy Boston was a top 5 talent, but sometimes when you get elite athleticism like this, it's just worth a little bit more than that little overall bump. Because what's that, like 3 overall between round 1 to 2 and top 5? But oh wait, Quincy Boston is also an elite athlete at 21 years old. Don't mind the 40 time. You got to look at the things on the left. Those are much more important than the actual combine numbers. Ratings aren't elite, but elite athlete, top 5 talent, guaranteed. He is very, very likely to be the second of the first round picks that we take. If we can guarantee that we're getting 2 of the top 5 players in this class, I mean, how could you not? We need literally everything. Let's go out and get the best players in this class. And yeah, that's kind of it for the cornerbacks. Taking a look at Andrew Bullitt here. He looks pretty solid, I guess. Nothing too crazy, but a good athlete, good coverage. Certainly worth keeping an eye on there if he's there in the second round. And I did get 100% on all these corners, so I just want to add people to the board that are above their projection, just so I know throughout the draft that, hey, maybe we can get this corner. He's better than his projection. Just to save a little bit of time, we won't look at all their physicals right now, but yeah, we know the true talent on a lot of these corners. But let's get back here to finish it out with the safeties. Derek Adams here. He looks pretty good. B-zone coverage, good athlete. I'd rather take Quincy Boston than him, though, so I don't know how likely it is he ends up on the team. Jake Altman also looks good. I like him a lot. D-man coverage is bad. If we knew that zone coverage was B, I'd be really intrigued. Virgil Dahlman, he's got that A hit power and isn't terribly slow. Most of the guys with A hit power in Madden 23 are very slow at safety, unless they're like the really high builds. But I want to see, as I guess first we'll take a look at mock draft 5 I just want to see the scouting percentage we got. Bryant Pearson is scheduled to go at 3. We know the Falcons like Cordell Terry over Bryant Pearson, so we could trade down to 2. I don't know. You can't guarantee that we can trade down to 3 though, because if the Cardinals wouldn't take the quarterback first, and thus, as we see, Quincy Boston, is 1 pick ahead of us. So it will take a minor trade up in the second pick, but not very much, and that's what you like to see. But finishing that last spot, we can't guarantee he'll be there at 3 because the Cardinals wouldn't take that quarterback first, which is what they're projecting here. And since we would mess up the order of the mock draft by doing any trade, we'd probably want to trade up just a little bit sooner just to safely pick Boston, maybe like up to pick 20, I would say. We should safely get him. But that's kind of my plan. This is the first couple guys, Pearson, Boston. In the second round, I really like Lewis Smart, and I really like Timmy Reed. Day 3, I like guys like D'Angelo Bramble, the edge. I like Michael Franklin, the linebacker, as we're going to look at him now 90% scouted. In sub 4.5 speed, you got to love it. He's looking really good. A, injury, or B, A, stamina. Not a ton of A's in like the skills, but a ton of B's for a day 3 guy. I like some offensive linemen on day 3. I like Victor Giles, the other linebacker we saw, and we saw he does have A zone coverage. And man, okay. D to F injury is concerning, but that's just a very highly skilled player that we can get in round 3 and late round 3 at that. So we got to know a little bit more about the off-ball linebackers. Devon Burks definitely looks like the best off-ball linebacker in this class, but we can get the other 2 guys so much later. It might be worth it to me because we just need so many players, and as much as I want Devon Burks for sure, is Michael Franklin worse? At least a little bit? Sure, but maybe not that much at all, if we're being honest. Maybe just a little. But we'll have to see come draft night. If I don't look at a Devon Brooks and just can't pass him up, it's very possible because he looks really, really good. I think it's smarter to wait for Michael Franklin, but I just want to take the best players in this class. There's just so many that are good. This looks like a really good, deep class, which is obviously good timing, being the first draft ever for a franchise to have a good draft. I would love for there to be a generational guy since we're guaranteed the first pick in this first year and we got it. But yeah, I think I kind of have a plan going into this draft. I want to draft at least 3 offensive linemen in this draft. I want to focus on the lines of scrimmage. It's so crucial to winning in Madden and in real football as well. So caps off to Madden for making that realistic. But let's get into this draft. Okay, I think I'm ready. I had to make sure everything was right, but here we are, 2023 NFL Draft. We are on the clock. Now, are the Falcons trying to come up to this pick? They are for a 3rd next year and a 7th this year. Not a ton of value, but it is value. And we know that they like their right tackle over the left tackle. This Giants one is interesting just because we would get that 3rd this year. The only thing is we would have to trade back up. The Giants would take the quarterback, so we just have to trade back up to 3, which could take us very little, but let's just play the safe road here. I don't want to get too overly fancy. Let's just make the easy choice here. They do go Cordell Terry, the right tackle, leaving us Brian Pearson, the left tackle from Alabama, 21 years old, 6'5", 311, A awareness, absolute great athlete with elite strength and great speed. A lot of A's you're seeing there, and a lot of important spots. Agile archetype, and there he is, the first ever San Antonio Express, as we get our first glimpse of the brand new jerseys. 93 strength, 74 speed, 84 acceleration. But most importantly, when you're talking about an offensive lineman, hidden development. Again, I do believe that will be superstar. Jeremiah Gatewood's a guy that I like. I think the Cardinals got a good one there. Eddie Shelton goes to the Giants. McCollum to the Seahawks. The Bears pick up left tackle, and we're off into this draft. I think we'll go to about 20, I would say. And if Quincy Boston is not off the board, as mock draft 5 predicted he wouldn't be, then I think we'll just try to trade up from there, be a little bit safe. He was going at pick 23 in the mock draft, so yes, we could wait a couple more picks. But I think 20 is just risky enough as Deontay McMillan goes, a receiver that we liked in this draft. Michael Darby is a tight end that, like I said, normally I'd be very willing to draft if you don't have a guy like Lewis Smart later. And let's get on the phone here with the Philadelphia Eagles and try to trade up for Quincy Boston. The Eagles, I wouldn't be surprised, I guess I should say, if the Eagles tried to pick Quincy Boston. This 6th round pick can't be enough. I hate fleecing the Eagles in a trade, but lo and behold, wow, that just a 6th round pick is almost enough to go up 4 spots when you've done the full package to reduce trading up in the draft, as that will be accepted. For a 6th and a 7th, like a mid 6th and a late 7th, got us up 4 spots in the class. Again, I'm less concerned about realistic returns in this series as I am compared to the Bears series, because we are at such a disadvantage in roster building, whereas we have no disadvantage in the Bears series. So taking advantage of the pick as Quincy Boston is a top 5 talent, hidden dev, and that is great athleticism, 95 speed, 93 jumping. We know he has aggressive play ball tendency from his traits, which I love to see personally. And looking ahead to this draft, I guess the next guy that we really like would be Devon Burks. And so it's time to make our decision on whether or not we're going to draft this guy. He's going to be really good. I know he is. Even if he's normal dev, he's going to be really good. As Carter Fitzpatrick, one of the offensive linemen we liked, goes there. Quarterback to the Bucks. And we are back on the clock. Let's take a look here at the board, see how far down the people that we really like are. Devon Burks, 9 picks away. Can't really trade down and pick him. We got to probably do one or the other. We lost 2 picks in that trade down, but we did gain 1. Lewis Smart, as we saw, was 21 spots down. So we're down 1 pick so far in this draft. I feel like we're going to be doing a lot of trading up in the mid rounds, though. Oh, he looks so good. Doesn't have the hit power. He even has ADC finesse and power. Let's just at least look at the offers. This is tough. I only want to go down like 8 or 9 spots before it's Lewis. Smart's range. That pick from the Vikings could be fine. I'll go down 12 spots with the Steelers there. That'd be a little bit risky. 5 spots there with the Seahawks. That's just a worse offer than what we have right here. Down 8 spots, we pick up a 4th from the Jets. I like that a lot. Down just a couple of spots, we pick up a next year 5th. Not really what I'm looking for. I'd like another pick in this year's draft if we can help it. Getting offered some future ones, as you might expect. I think we will go with this Jets offer here. Going down 8 spots, Lewis Smart should still be there. Then we're probably going to have to trade up to get Timmy Reed after that, because Timmy Reed's like right in that same range. As Devon Burks goes to the Falcons, we'll definitely check him out after the draft. And the Vikings didn't screw us over. Doug Watts is a guy that had some potential. We didn't love him, but certainly could be good. Lewis Smart is the pick here. Obviously, 4.53 at the combine, 4.47 at his pro day. Lots of B's, lots of A's. Hidden dev 3 for 3. Lewis Smart, 88 speed, 89 acceleration, 88 agility. Very good looking tight end. And we don't have a miss yet here through our first 3 picks. I want to see just how far away Timmy Reed is, because I feel like I'm going to have to trade up here soon to get him. No, it's Eli Shea that's next. I do like Eli Shea. Where's Timmy Reed? He's 26 spots away. So there's a guy I really like 14 spots away, and there's a guy I really like 26 spots away. And this is why we traded down a couple of times to hopefully try to accumulate picks that will make it easier to trade back up. Here at pick 10 with the Lions is where I think we'll next try to make a move up in this draft. How we're going to do it? I guess time will tell. That third round pick that we got, I don't know which one it's going to be. We'll just do this one. 2 3s to get up into the top 10 here. As I accidentally got out of it. But I think we might even be able to do the lesser 3 here. So we'll try that. 2 3s to the Lions for their second round pick. Will they say yes? They've got to say yes, right? No. But they're really, really close. Like we can give them one of our picks next year. I'd rather give. I mean, at least I think I'd rather give more picks next year, right? We just need. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be that way. Is it? We need to fill out a roster this year. Next year, this draft is definitely going to help us a lot. But this year's draft is the one that we go from literally having 0 players on the roster to needing to fill 53. We need 53 roster spots filled in this draft, so we need to try to preserve our draft picks. We'll just throw in the next year's second, and they'll accept it. Did I say next year's second? Definitely a 6th. If we done a second, that would be ludicrous. We'll go Eli Shea here. He's higher ranked. And hidden dev again, another guy who's really athletic. And we are now 4 for 4 on the hidden devs. We're rolling, baby. Timmy Reed, there's a lot of, normal dev D tackles that look really sick. I was fairly confident that everyone was going to be hidden dev until now. Eddie Hazelton at around 30 is, if we want one of those speedy receivers, he's kind of the last of that tier. Timmy Reed still has a couple of defensive tackles ahead of him ranked. "24 spots away. I think we can go for a little bit. We see Darren Wynn. That's one of the defensive tackles ranked ahead of him. Jose Ward was a guy on our draft boards. And here's the little bit of the run of those speedy receivers. We see 2 in a row. Still got some guys left in that receiver room, though, that we like, so I think we'll continue. Baltimore goes quarterback in round 2. That's interesting. Philly goes Jake Altman. He's a guy that we really liked. All right, so both of the defensive tackles rated ahead of Timmy have gone, and the Browns are a threat to pick a D tackle, so we're going to try to trade up here with the Browns. What do we give up here? We're going up 10 spots. Shouldn't take much at all if we're being honest. We might go a next year pick again and next year 4. They got to accept this. That might even be richer than what we needed. And next year 5 probably would have got it done if we're being honest. But I just really want this player. Timmy Reed looks really, really good, so let's draft him. Can we get what our 5th straight hidden? We can! Wow! 5 straight hidden development players in this draft. Like I said, I was fairly confident in the first 4. Maybe a little bit dubious of a guy like Lewis Smart at tight end. We got Eddie Hazelton, who's still he's the 8th receiver. Jeez, so many receivers in this draft. So this part of the draft is laden with receivers, it looks like. We'll let some go before Eddie Hazelton. We just see 2 of them go there. I'm pretty sure we just won't need to trade up for Hazelton. Jay Murray goes, another receiver. Matt Orr. He's the last guy that I remember that's like in that mold of Hazelton, and I definitely want to ensure that we get one of those guys. So it's just like a couple picks here, like should take almost nothing. I just wanted to see if that still worked in Madden 23, worked in Madden 22. That was just an experiment. Wasn't that big of a deal. He'd probably would have lasted to us anyway. We won't be doing that. Like, I do want to like not care as much about the realistic returns as 98 speed from Hazelton and hidden development again. The best drafter ever, baby. All you gotta do is give me 100 draft picks, and I'm gonna make a team. I did not cheat. I know it's looking mighty sus right now. Yeah, that's our sixth straight. Jeez, dude, I'm so good at this. Is there anybody else that we need to draft prior to day 3? We got the mid-round guys that I really like. We don't have another pick here in the 3rd round, but we could certainly still trade up for maybe like one guy. If there's one guy we need in this round, who is it? Would say Gilbert Wilkins. We did just draft a hidden defensive tackle, though. Seen a lot of guys that I want to make sure I have the ammo to get at the top of round 4. I do not want to let them slip. Probably Victor Giles, maybe. Get our first off-ball linebacker. We want 2 out of the 3 coming from the draft class. It's kind of just him and Michael Franklin left that we really like all that much. The other guys are fine, but we really like those 2. How far away is Victor Giles? He's 31 spots down the board. Okay. So we can probably go halfway through the 3rd round and then trade up. Let's just see if we go to 15, if he's still there. And we need here, looks like we might get, I don't know if lucky. I pushed it 1 past, but that's no big deal. He wasn't picked. If he would have been picked on that spot when I was originally planning to go to 15, that would be funny. We got a lot of 4th round picks. I want a lot of 4th round picks, so there's a lot of day 3 guys that are kind of basically must-haves for me. Spending a lot of our next year's picks. I mean, we're still going to have a really good trove of picks next year, but as that's not enough. Okay, fine. Two next year's 5ths. Okay, there we go. This year's 5th, and we don't have this year's 4th. I mean, and we don't have any 5th rounders next year. Too bad, so sad. Whatever, we'll deal with it. Victor Giles will be the pick. 7 for 7? 7. What is going on with this draft class, dude? I mean, he's insane. We have 7 hidden development players. Watch, we're not going to get a single hidden dev in the 4th round, though. Wow. Michael Franklin looks really good. We'll take him with the first pick in the 4th round. I'm going to be trading up. I'm going to be very aggressive. Once you get to day 3, it's really a crapshoot as to where people go. And there's, I think, 4 guys. There's that offensive lineman. There's that edge rushing linebacker. There's the quarterback and him. I think I might trade it for the first 4 picks of the 4th round here. So Deshaun Walton, he was the offensive lineman I was talking about, right? Pretty sure that I really, really wanted. So he's first. So we'll take him just in case we can't get the next 4. I want to take them in order of what they're coming for. Is a 6th enough to get pick 2 from the Falcons here in the 4th round? Gosh, a 7th is enough. Wow, dude. Okay. And there he is, Deshaun Walton. This is the guy, right? I mean, he's 21 years old. He is normal dev. Okay, the streak is over, but good athlete. Probably a good player as well. So, yeah, that was probably him. There were so many. I don't know. There might have been a guy I liked more in day 3, but I'm not so worried about it. We're going to go just another one here. 4th and a 7th. Try to trade up to the next pick. I'm pretty sure we're going to take the quarterback. Or the edge rusher. We still want both, so. Oh, I thought he was gone for a second. I was going to be so sad. But here we go. This is kind of the only edge rusher we liked in the whole draft. Another normal dev, but another guy that looks good. So 90 acceleration was really good. And finally here with the Giants. Let's trade for Devin Hamilton. Just give him 2/5. See if that is enough. And that'll kind of be the meat and potatoes of this first draft. And they will accept. Okay. I think we got, Devon Burks is the only so-so guy. But all the guys that I zeroed in on and keyed in on that I really wanted, I got. So at this point, we're not going to trade up anymore. Got to start filling some roster spots. Devin Russo, he was a post UDFA, the guy that I liked. Why is he gone? Oh, that's so annoying. Darius Slayton will take as our wide receiver 2. He looks decent, but normal. Devin Russo, really? Okay, right before us, just gutting us. We did pick our 3 offensive linemen minimum that I already wanted, so as we'll get to Matthew Welker in a minute. I didn't show him in the draft preview for a reason. John Smith will be the pick. Normal, solid looking player though. And we've only got, I think, 2 more picks left. Kicker will be 1. Pretty sure it's one of those 99 kick power dudes. We don't have a running back yet. So let's get one here. 91 speed, normal dev. Receiving back. And the last pick will be the kicker, Matthew Welker. A awareness, elite kick power, B accuracy. Let's go. Hidden dev 99 kick power. All right, we got 1 hidden dev here in day 3, but a very, very busy draft for us. We had a ton of picks. We traded a lot of them up, so we ended up not taking nearly as many as we had originally, but still a ton of work to do. 15 players is how many we ended up selecting. That's kind of the goal I was looking for. And here is the class. I have gone through and edited like gear and stuff like that and numbers. Brian Pearson, 93 strength base as we saw already, but going up to 97 already. So he's a beast. Look at all those greens. He's got a couple of yellows, but That run block is only 1 away, and that power should get to green here soon anyway. Quincy Boston is even better at 78 overall. 95 speed and acceleration, as we already saw, but 77 man. 67 zone needs some work, but he's kind of got that Denzel Ward build, if you will. Lewis Smart, 67 run block, 86 catching playing up to, 75 trucking, 74 break tackle. Is this the George Kittle build if we're going off of other players? I'm not going to do that for everyone. In fact, I'm going to stop right now because, like, what build is Eli Shea? But before I forget, I did forget he has the size to play tackle, and he's good, so he's going to play tackle. I'd rather have two really good players playing tackle. He's up to a 75 at tackle. But, I mean, he's only got one thing in the orange. Everything else is yellow or green to start out. 21 years old. Looking good. We got two super solid offensive line pieces that I'm very excited about. Going on now to Timmy Reed, who, does he have an arm brace? What's that called? The arm brace and the arm wrap and the arm sleeve? Let's fix that real quick. Yeah, there we go. And now let's go back to the player, Timmy Reed. Really good, 73 overall. Comes in with 80 power moves. 69 finesse moves, nice, and 67 block shed. Definitely need to get that block shed up. That'll be a goal early on in this franchise. And Eddie Hazelton. 87 spec catch and 80 base release, playing up to an 83 already. He's going to be a deep threat day one for us. So hard not to be excited about a wide receiver like him leading the group this year. Victor Giles, 71. So not only did we have 7 straight hit-ins, but all of them are at least 70 overall. A lot of them, everyone except for Victor Giles, is 74 overall at least. That is crazy. Elite athlete, you see there that like 73 tackle definitely needs some work, but his co-running mate, I guess, is an off-ball linebacker, makes up for that a little bit. Is he has 86 tackle and looks very good. Like, honestly, the only thing you cannot like about Michael Franklin is normal dev, age, everything else. And at that age, if you get that guy a breakout, it's a lot easier to go from normal to star on a breakout. You get 20,000 XP. All of a sudden, he might be looking better than Devon Burks. Who knows? We don't know how good Devon Burks is. Deshaun Walton, as you see there, solid looking offensive lineman. D'Angelo Bramble, drafted as an outside linebacker, will play left end. We're going to start this franchise as a 4-3. I'm not 100% sure if we will stay there. That's how we'll start it. Let's see, is a 69 nice? That's the offensive lineman before him was the first under 70. Devin Hamilton. 69 only, 67 deep accuracy. It's not great. He's got the physical tools. He just needs to learn to control that arm. He's not going to throw great on the run or under pressure, but he's got a big arm, and he's definitely developable. And unless we see one of those crazy Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick build quarterbacks in next year's draft, we're probably going to give him a couple years. Honestly, he's got that sort of potential. Darius Slayton, he's fine as a wide receiver too. About kind of what I'd expect. John Smith will be a 68 overall. And yeah, he's got that 70 power move, but both finesse and block shedding are in the 50s. This video is taking so long to record that I can no longer speak, as he also has the most generic name of all time. Donovan Holmes will be the lowest rated player from this class at 66 overall. His carrying is really bad. I think that's the one position that we drafted that I'm going to say that we still haven't filled. Like, I don't want him to be my starting running back. That was a miss. We had a lot of guys on the board, But Matthew Welker, 99 kick power, 79 accuracy. We got kicker figured out. We're not going to have to draft it for the rest of this franchise at all. Nada. Already the 16th ranked kicker in the league. You love to see it. There's not a lot of guys that we're going to have, top 20 guys at their positions. Who else? Maybe the tackles. But before we move on, let's actually look at the draft recap for the league as well. A couple things we'd like to check on there. We'd also like to check on the drafts of our divisional opponents. As Cordell Terry is not nearly as good as Pearson, so thanks for passing. As Deontay McMillan, the receiver I really liked, is a 79. He's the best player in the class. He's really 98 spec catch. He's so good. I mean, I am excited about Eddie Hazelton, but McMillan would have been so good. Star Dev. I already had it made up in my mind that the second first round pick was going to be Quincy Boston, which he's the second best player in this class, so it's not like I did a bad thing by any means. But it's tough to pass on him, even though he was just star. So we've got, a lot of players up at top of this draft as we see 75 coming down, and we know we have a couple down in that area. So I think we did a really good job reading this draft class. I think it was a really solid draft class in general. No incredible players, but Devon Burks is who we want to check out here. The second pick, he is hidden dev, okay. 88 speed, so not as fast, but he's got great zone coverage. He's a good tackler as well, great block shedder. Devon Burks is really good, especially if he has an ability. If he has an ability, I think it's a miss. If it's star, which it is, I think we're good. I think we're good with the decision we made. McMillan's a year younger, but overall worse. Well, it's a guy that we liked. We'll check him out. So the Jets traded up for, and it looks like it was worth the trade up for them. And this draft class was just really good. Let's check out our divisional arrivals. The Broncos didn't get much of anybody, but Jose Polk was there. Only guy above 70. Not too worried about him. The Chargers got a 76 overall receiver. I believe he was on our board. Yeah, the 6'5" guy that was on our board. He looks really solid for them. And Dev would have been a good pick for us. Oh! Would have been a really good pick for us. Superstar X Factor. No! The Chargers. I know it wasn't super realistic. I know we're deep into this video to have the Raiders be disbanded. They're one of the most historical franchises in the league, but I wanted to be in the toughest division of football. And I chose the Raiders because they certainly have good players, but not a lot of them are on their rookie deals, where I feel like everyone else had people that were good that were on their rookie deals. Chiefs got themselves a star dev tackle. So the Raiders had the shortest shelf life, I guess, and so I wanted blocking tight end that's hidden. A little cheeky pick there by the Chiefs. He is just star, however. Very interesting pick. Guess we'll also check out Chris Bryant, another guy that was on our list. A lot of the guys that were on our list were really good. I think we had a really good handle on this draft class, if we're being honest here. Chris Bryant looks really solid. So I guess if you want to have a really good draft, just spend an absolute crap ton of time in it, and you'll have amazing draft classes. We have a mentor rookie here. That's interesting. as we'll get disconnected. If there's any super notable UDFA signings, I'll tell you about them. But if not, I don't feel like going through like everyone, as we did pick up them all, and there weren't really any that like would jump at you. Nobody's star dev, nobody's super high overall, nobody's super interesting. They're just filling the roster. You'll get to know them throughout the season, but I don't know how long this video is running, as we'll end here with who we're gonna have at our focus spots. I want Timmy Reed in there for sure over the kicker. The only other guy that you would consider here is maybe Giles, but I don't know if I would consider Giles. Or a guy like Franklin, the captain of our defense over the middle. But let's just do the hidden dev guys. But that's all I have for you in this episode. We'll go through the guys maybe in more depth later, but that's it for episode 1.